Greetings, Iain from RTO. It's part 2 of Marillion Day, and this one is a thing called Marillion Rarities. This is a box, well, it's a box set sort of thing that I picked up at a record fair. Oh, must have been, well, it was in the days of CDs. So I would say this was probably picked up round about 91, 92, 93, somewhere around there. And the thing that it was called was Out of Aylesbury. Now, it didn't come with no covers. They were just in plastic, in a plastic sort of folder thing. So I made up this cover to put up here. I just made that up. It doesn't exist. But I just wanted some visual aid up there as usual. So basically this features probably everyone that's been in Marillion up till like the script era. So you're going to hear Steve Rothery on here, Mick Pointer, Fish, Brian Jellyman, Disminute, Doug Irvine, Mark Kelly and Pete Travavis. So CD 1 is He Knows You Know from Rock's On Session in 1981. This version is really different from what went on the album. It's got more of a heavy riff and the vocal delivery is totally different, but the lyrics are the same. Garden Party, now the start of this again is totally different. It's got this sort of electric piano thing, and Fish is asking for a bottle of 1947 Chateau Chancery, and then it goes into this basically the song that we know. It's not the same version, but it's very, very similar. Then we get charting the single. Now this is weird because it's nothing like the song that came out on the B side. This is a more upbeat version, and to be quite honest, I don't like this version. I'm glad they changed it, in all honesty. So the next song on here is a Forgotten Sons, and it's from the BBC session from 1982. This is more or less the version that we've got on the script album. It's a basic version, but pretty good. And then we get from the same session, Three Boats Down from the Candy. Very similar to the song, but Mick Pointer's drumming on here sounds a little bit more prominent. And there's a little more phasing on the keyboard from Mark Kelly. And then we get The Web. More or less the same. The guitar riff is very more prominent, and then they retweaked that when they did the as we talked about in the box sets. They really brought that back out really good. Then we get some live stuff, and this is at the Moles Club in Bath in 1982 of She Chameleon. Sounds nothing like what he ended up on Fugazi. This is an upbeat version. It'd have been more interesting to see what they've done if they'd have kept with this and got it on and recorded it as a studio version. Then we get Chelsea Monday, a live version of this, very basic, still a good track, isn't it? Market Square Heroes, no different from the single or album version. Then we get Institutional Waltz. This was recorded in Sheffield. The only time this has never appeared on a Marillion album, but it did appear on the compilation album from 1995 of Yin Yang that Fish did. There's some really good keyboard bits in this for Mark Kelly. It's really, really good. Then we get Market Square Heroes from the EMI Fair Deal session. Pretty good. Three Boats Down from the Candy. Now, that's the last track on CD 1. Right, CD 2 is really bits and bobs of what became songs. So the first one on here is called Close Now. This did become The Web. There's no lyrics with this, it's just the music bit of what became The Web. Then we get a track called Lady Fantasy, and the vocals are done by Doug Irvine. So probably this is Doug Irvine, Steve Rothery, Mick Pointer and Brian Jellyman. Very red here, this. It's Doesn't sound nothing like what we was going to get. Then we got Alice. Again, it's Doug's vocals. And bits of this that would eventually appear on Forgotten Sons. Scott's Porridge. I think this is what became Margaret. It's got little bits of Loch Lothian on it. Then we get The Haunting of Gill House. This is nothing that's never been used. There's a little bit of keyboard on this that sounds like the guitar solo from Hotel California, actually. Her and the Hunter is just a bit of a jam. Steve Rothery just going through it. Then we got another live track, and it's a cover version of the Genesis I Know What I Like. Well, it's different. And I've got another version of that, which we'll talk about in a minute. CD3. Now, allegedly, it's Fish's first practice with the band. Now, this is recorded in 1981. So, it's Time for a Sail. There's nothing here that really doesn't resemble anything they were going to do. It's just jamming, and all you can hear is Fish chopsing in the background. Madcap's Embrace. I'm sure Fish was just making up the lyrics as he was going on, because none of it makes sense. Then we get a very, very early version of Grendel. There's bits here that appear on the actual song. That's very, very good. Snow Angel. And this is tracks that little bits that would become Chelsea Monday, I think. There's a few of the words from that, and then Fish just making it up as he went along, because I never heard these words again. So very, very raw Chelsea Monday. Skyline Drifter. Again, there's bits of Garden Party in this. Or what would end up in Garden Party. Then we get The Web. Now this is one of the oldest songs in the Marillion catalogue, and this doesn't sound any different from what we get today, or we did. Then we get Garden Party, a very raw version. Again, it's got little bits that became Garden Party, and then they added bits from Skyline Drifter that actually made up the full song, so it's a little bit different. I think this is I love this, although the recordings are a little bit atrocious in places. It's just truly a piece of Marillion history that I am so glad that I've got. It was just great to hear songs that Doug Irvine singing. So I thought I'd just share that with you. And the other thing I'm going to share with you is this. This is 1981 outtakes and EMI Studios from 1982. Now, side one is recorded in Ashton Clinton Village Hall. Now, Ashton Clinton is not far from where I am. It's a village which is about 45 miles away from me, and it's in between the towns of Aylesbury and Berkhamsted. And the bass player on this is Diz Minute. So on here, I mean, just tell you what's on it. I mean, it's a proper cassette, look. And that's the inlay card that come with it. They've even got Ashton Village Hall, 1981. Yeah. So you get a version of Institution Waltz, which is sounds like it's been recorded on a little thing with a microphone. Three Boats Down from the Candy, very basic version of that. And then they do I Know What I Like, Genesis, obviously, because I think they were still playing that in their set. And then on the B side, side 2, we have EMI Studios that was recorded on the 6th of September 1982. They get Grendel. I think this is the first very, very early version of the song, and it sounds like what they went, and I think this must have been a practice just before they recorded it. Market Square Heroes. The only thing that's different is the start. You get this ding, 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 ding-a-dee, diddly, diddly, it's okay. 3 boats down from the candy. Sounds like it, what they recorded. Again, it's just nice to have these little bits of Marillion history. I have had this transferred to a CD now. So I haven't got a tape recorder now. I probably haven't played this for about 20 years, and I've still got it. Oops, it won't do it if I keep smashing it around. So again, I thought I'd just share that that there are some bits out there. Now, if you would like a copy of these, just send me an email and we'll discuss it. Okay, that's all for this little one. I've got one more thing for this Marillion Day, and it is a Battle of the Debuts I've Gone Solo special, where we're going to pitch Marillion's first album with Steve Hogarth against Fish's first solo album. So I'm looking forward to that. So bye for now.